ACT politics and catch up with the Transport Minister there, Shane Rattenbury. Thanks for joining us, Shane. You've just legalised electric scooters for the footpaths. This created any hassles with pedestrians and others?
Look, not at this stage, Chris. The new laws kick in this Friday. We have decided to put in place a set of rules that make it legal to use these electric scooters and similar devices because they offer a good transport alternative for some people, and certainly we see them as an opportunity to make people's lives easier.
Yeah, you see them around quite a bit these days. What have the other states done when it comes to the laws around them?
It's been quite patchwork-like at this stage. There's not a consistent set of national rules. What we have seen in most of the other jurisdictions is the commercial operators have come in and they are operating schemes in the city centres. So people will have seen various brands in Brisbane and Adelaide and the like. At this stage in the ACT, we've just put in place a set of general rules for private use, and we expect that commercial operators will start to come in soon. They're the ones who sort of operate those share schemes where you belong and you can just turn up and take one.
Now, you let them go on the footpath, but you let bike riders or cyclists to go on the footpaths as well, don't you? In some states, cyclists are banned from the footpaths. Yeah, why would a scooter get any advantage over a cyclist?
Yeah, look, at this stage, certainly you're right, the rules around bikes for the long history in the ACT is they've been allowed to ride on the footpath, and we think that's probably the right place for e-scooters at this point as well. We've got a lower speed limit, so we've put in place a 15km/h speed limit on the footpath and then 25km/h on the cycle paths and the more open areas.
Now, you're a Greens MP. Are you embarrassed at all by the activism of some of your colleagues using the current bushfires in New South Wales to really talk up their own climate action policies?
I think it's the right time to be having a discussion about it. People are asking, the question is, what is happening with these bushfires? Why are we seeing them on such a large scale? The community wants to have that conversation. So, you know, it is right to react to that conversation. I think we need to be really sensitive that there's people out there facing real threats. They're having the fire either burn right up to their doorstep or, frankly, take their doorstep out. And so, you know, there needs to be some sensitivity, but it's certainly a discussion that needs to be had.
You've got to be sensible about this, though. The people calling this an unprecedented catastrophe and language like that, which is just completely absurd and implausible, and Australians know that. It's also pretty disrespectful to, for instance, Victorians who only a decade ago had the Black Saturday fires and lost 173 people. 173 people.
Yeah, look, and here in Canberra we had an enormous fire in 2003 where we lost a significant number of houses in this city. I think for people who've not experienced something like this before, it's hard for them to fathom the scale of this. You know, and the smoke we've seen, particularly in Sydney, a lot of people are really questioning, where's this come from? Why is this happening? And they do find it very frightening. It is, for many people, have never experienced anything like it.
Well, that's what I mean. Shouldn't Greens MPs and like these former fire chiefs, these climate activists, actually be talking soberly and sensibly about this stuff? I mean, we've had smoke haze in this country since before European settlement. The first records of Captain Cook and others talked about the smoke haze, yet they pretend that the smoke haze, you've had some in Canberra, there's been a lot in Sydney as well, they pretend that too is unprecedented.
Well, I think certainly in modern times in Australia we've not seen this sort of smoke presence across our major urban areas, and it is a significant health hazard for people.
In the 1950s it shut down every airport in Sydney.
Well, I said in recent times. I guess it depends on your definition of recent times. But, you know, I think our fire chiefs, our former fire chiefs who are raising these issues are raising some really important points. The fireys that I speak to are saying they've not seen fires of this intensity. You know, they're talking about walls of flame that they've not experienced, and these are people who've been in these services a long time, so I listen to them pretty carefully. Yeah,
they're bad bushfires, and we are at the end of a severe drought, but this is exactly the point, isn't it? They're bad bushfires. We need to have a mind to history, and we know that this country's been ravaged by terrible bushfires for time immemorial.
And we also need to have a mind of the future. We have seen for several decades now scientists warning us that under global warming scenarios we will see hotter, drier conditions which will exacerbate bushfires. And given those scientific warnings, I think people are now wondering what sort of connection there is and whether we need to be making a better response than we currently are.
Indeed, Shane. Thanks so much for joining us. Appreciate it.